You owe me an apology?
Yeah, I tried to set up a broadcast so you could watch the funeral, but I was unable to get any signal to where I could send it out.
Oh, well, that's all right. At least you tried.
I did. I brought my computer down there and everything, and the funeral home people were really trying to set it up for me, and finally they said, we can't get a signal out here.
Oh, well.
It was pouring, too.
See how we were just talking about you, actually. We were going over some verses in the Bible that point out some of the some of the lies that you were telling, or maybe you were guided and were told.
Oh, such as?
Who is that who was just reading the verse, or reading that, is that you, Chum?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not exactly, but you're close.
Oh, I know. I'm familiar with the discussions on Malachos and the use of arsenokoitai. I agree that you could make a colloquial distinction between Malachos and, say, like what kind of person do I want to describe this as? You know, like the really flashy gay people. You know, the ones that just wear booty shorts and prance around and snap their fingers and yeah, flamboyant. That would be the word. Like the flamboyant ones. No, I wouldn't say it refers to a trans person at all. I would say that it refers to a flamboyant male. Transgender people don't put on a show, right? That they the things that affect a transgender person are inner, right? It's not just an expression. It's not just like a trans person is like, oh, I'm just want to be this girly guy kind of thing, right? They don't want to be a guy to begin with.
A distinction with no difference.
There's a huge distinction whether you know.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm not going to debate the issue with you. You are mentally deranged by your own concession. You are rationalizing your own perverted thinking, and you're going to continue to it. And Mr. Batman was right. You need to repent.
Why are you assuming I haven't?
Okay, because you are still rationalizing men who imagine that they're women. They're embracing being effeminate, imagining that they're woman-like, imagining that they're women, because you want to give this bilge like you did yesterday. And I'm not going to debate it with you right now. Okay, once somebody gets to a certain
then why
point,
are you speaking to me?
especially because I'm making a point so that it's clear to everyone else in the room who didn't hear the conversation yesterday. Okay, and you're just tripling down not only on your degeneracy, but on your psychological self-deception.
No, I would disagree with that. I would say that.
Yeah, and you want to know something? How about how you represented yourself to me over the last 2 weeks, and then I get forensic evidence of your more recent activity on whatever this site is. You represent yourself other than what that forensic evidence presented.
I never misrepresented myself.
Oh, please don't. Were you going to lie in front of the room now about the private conversations we had?
How
Come
did
on,
I mean, I can post all the conversations we've had. I've never misrepresented myself.
No, I'm talking about the conversations that we had orally.
What about the conversations we've had orally?
Yeah, you represent that lifestyle it was gone for quite some while now.
What lifestyle?
Okay, I'm not doing this. Okay, when people start lying and being disingenuous, then it's time to stop the dialogue. Okay, you need to repent.
Okay. Anyway, Chum, I would just
Darth
disagree.
tapped out.
He's gonna tap out. He doesn't want to have an actual debate. Because he can't win. The issues here are that they're not used to coming up with someone who actually can back up what they say scripturally. The last time me and Darth had a conversation, he couldn't, give me any kind of scriptural thing. He's apparently been trying to provide a scriptural thing here. That's fine. You want to have a biblical argument about something, you have a biblical argument. So, is transgenderism a sin? This is the question that we ask. Is homosexuality a sin? This is a question that we ask. And how do we find the answers to these things? Well, we go to the Bible, because that's where the answers are. And we have to extrapolate from what the Bible says, and we have to understand the historicity of the books, who they were written to, the time period they were written to, who they were written to, how they were written. We have to understand the popular verbiage of the day in order to understand some succinct words. I always find it interesting that people attempt to translate arsenokoitai as homosexuality.
Yeah, Tanner, when was the last time you were on a website called Shemale Directory?
Shemale Directory? I don't know if I've ever been on a site called Shemale Directory. Never even heard of that site.
Really?
Yeah, really. I never
Why
even
does
heard
it?
of it.
Why does it say that there's a Kit Kat Tanner that
hello,
appears?
Oh shit! Oh,
And there's a photograph. There's a photograph here where the red triangle push button is covering the face, but you have the same body type, same head shape, and hairstyle.
Well,
hello,
that's
Darth.
probably
Darth
because
Dawkins,
that's
remember me?
Oh, so you're a liar, Tanner?
Yeah, mute on Pink Guy immediately, please.
Here, I'm going to click on the video just to see.
Oh my god. Darth, hold on a second. You sure you want to do that?
So my guess is that because
Okay, no, it doesn't play. It says Kit Kat Tanner. Is that somebody else?
That's funny, godless. Yeah, no, Darth, you obviously don't understand how the porn industry works, which
No, I'm asking you.
probably a good thing.
Is that you?
I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at. I'm not in your house.
It says here, see, I just did a Google search on this just right now. It says last seen May 2nd.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
At 11:30.
Okay. Your point?
Did you make that appearance?
You're a liar, Kathleen. You've been caught.
I have no idea what website you're on, so I am going to hazard to say no. That's probably a rehashed video. Oh,
okay. Did you make an appearance on any type of video show doing any type of sexual appearance on or around May 2nd?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. Well, why would this show that you did?
Because they take previous footage and upload it so that people will continue to pay for it.
Yeah, it says last seen on.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. They take old footage.
This is why the more you see, the more you lie. That's why I don't want to talk with you.
Oh, fuck.
Darth, I have no reason to lie.
But you did, because he asked you if you visited that Shemale site or whatever, if you're a part of it, and you said no.
Have you ever registered on this? Have you ever registered on this site?
What is the website?
Oh my God, Kathleen, come on! You've been busted already.
What is the website?
It says Gmail directory.
Oh, fuck.
No, I've never even been on that website. I don't even know what that website is.
Oh, really? Then why do they post here that you were last seen on there May 2nd?
Because I have because the sites that I've worked for have affiliate websites that take the old video and recycle it in order to make more money.
Oh, so you're not registered there?
No. So a video that I made from 2017 could show up on a website tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So they're gonna post it like you're registered there, right?
Yep, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's literally what they do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What about planetx.net?
Never
to come
heard
to
of it.
Kathleen's defense here, this is how
Really?
distribution
You're listed
of
there.
new media tends to work anyway.
I believe the last time I did a Google search for myself, I was listed on over 600 websites.
Isn't
But I've
that-
only ever worked for 2.
Well, your little child should be awful proud of daddy.
Oh, fuck.
My child has no bones about anything about me.
Well,
Let me ask you this question. You know, if you became a Christian, why does your current Instagram page show you posing in underwear in bras as though you were a woman?
Well, let's
Men
take a
can
look
wear
at my
bras.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Let me pull up my social media here. Instagram. When was the last time I posted a picture to Instagram?
Yeah, and then it also has a listing to chatterbait.com Kit Kat Tanner. See, yeah, it's amazing what you can find.
I mean,
So,
why does
yeah,
Darth
the last
pose as if
time-
he's a bitch?
The last time I posted a picture to Instagram was February 25th.
Yeah, why are those pictures still up?
Well, because at that time I was still an atheist and working as a cam model.
Oh, so wouldn't a Christian want to pull that kind of stuff down on Instagram?
I mean,
It's not like Instagram
bother
is
me.
some obscure social media site. It's probably one of the more famous social media sites.
You're probably right. But
Yeah, you know what?
I don't have that many
This is why.
followers.
See, this is why I no longer want to reason with you, because you've been entirely deceptive with me.
No, Darth. The problem here is that regardless of whether you want to engage with me or not, you have not been able to present a coherent biblical argument for why transgenderism would be a
No,
sin
by
in
the
the
way,
eyes of God.
hey Tanner. I've encountered homosexuals before who try to argue that the Bible doesn't condemn homosexuality. I don't get in those kind of debates. By the way, I'll just leave you with this. Did you ever see Terminator 3?
No.
Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger goes into a risque
Yep.
nightclub,
In before.
Mhm.
Talk to the
and a
hand.
male homosexual approaches him, and Arnold Schwarzenegger says, "Talk to the hand."
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
talk
I take that
talk
back.
to the
I've seen that.
hand. Talk to the hand.
That's the same as
very
saying I
adult
have
of
no
you.
argument. I have
Yeah,
no
pretty much.
argument. Talk to the waving hand.
Yeah, it's very rare to find a Christian that can actually argue against transgenderism in the Bible.
Darth has tapped out
an
like
easier-
twice now.
It's an easier argument to argue against homosexuality,
You see, I guess you're not aware. I'll just leave you with this final note that there is
but
that we are to avoid certain foolish disputes. And this is
avoid it. You're still here though.
Fourth word tapped
yeah,
out.
that's what I'm pointing at. This is a foolish dispute. It's beyond foolish. Yeah, in the beginning, God made Adam and Eve.
Yeah, he did, and Adam and Eve fucked up pretty big time. So maybe he should have explored other options.
Hold on. So you generally think that like God made a woman out of like Adam's rib? No, come on, like that's insane. Like, so you actually think females are actually
Get over.
produced by like a rib?
On Pin Guy.
No, I personally believe
Hey,
that
Pen Guy.
the book of Genesis is a polemic book. I don't take it literally in the sense that I think that God picked up a handful of dust and blew into it, and then performed surgery and pulled out a rib.
Well, then you're not a biblical presuppositionalist then.
I would say that it's a polemic book,
No,
and
you're
it
not
is
a
an
biblical
argument.
presuppositionalist.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. Nor is it apparent that you understand
Jesus, what is that
polemics are.
fucking echoing?
I don't know.
Darth.
Clean it up.
You know, polemics is you know, a book of polemics would be, you know, a book of arguments, right? It is basically a book, an argumental historicity of the
I'll see you guys
creation.
later. I can't stand this bilge.
Bye-bye.
Third tap out.
He can't make an argument against me. He knows he can't make an argument against me.
I like how he spent the day researching training websites, but we're the fools.
Well, you know, he spent the day researching tranny websites. Meanwhile, I spent the day evangelizing to people. So, you know, who's more the fool, the fool, or the fool who follows?
I think you just did a cursory Google search.
I mean, it's
Maybe
not that
did
hard to find
in-depth
my
research.
old stuff, you know. It's not that hard to find my old stuff. What do you mean? Would I say the same thing about what? Oh, no, I logged on to Chatterbait 2 weeks ago to cash out some money.
No, it
still
says
got
last broadcast, not last.
Yeah,
online.
I have to, when you go to do anything with Chatterbait, you have to log in and go to your broadcast page and click broadcast now in order to get to the place where you cash tokens out. So it would show that I was online. I think I've still got like 170,000 tokens in there. That's about $10,000. So, you know, I'm not just going to leave that money sitting there.
Wait, what?
I've still got about $10,000 in tokens that I haven't cashed out from Chatterbait.
Oh, you do cash them out though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I needed
was gonna say,
money. I needed some money to pay for my sister's funeral, so I cashed out like $2,000.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, so I could pay for the cremation and the funeral. But when you
For a
go to
second there, I
Chatterbait,
thought you had to spend the tokens on
oh
Chatterbait.
no. So
Which
what
was
you do
gonna-
is you go and you log in, you put your login information on, and then if you're a cammer, you go to something called Broadcast Yourself Now, and
Right.
it pops you up your broadcast page. You don't actually have to click on the button that turns your cam on, but as soon as you click on that broadcast page, it's going to say that you have been logged online. And, you know, at some point in time, I need to get those tokens out of there, so I'll, you know, log back in and take them out as I need them. They don't go anywhere, so.
Yeah, I think Darth is usually defeated by his own ignorance.
So Darth's issue is that Darth thought, hey, look, this is cool. I have a tranny presuppositionalist. But, you know, we never got around to having a conversation. I was completely upfront with him. I told him, as a matter of fact, let me go and I tell you what, we'll just do this. He may have blocked me. Nope, there we go. He tells us a lot of stuff calling all of y'all trolls. Everyone is a troll to him. But, you know, everything I say to him, you know, I have issues. I have sin. I'm very sinful. I have sinned in the past. I'm glad I found Christ, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's basically my... Then he calls Jack a troll, Charles a troll, Godless a troll, you know, on and on and on. And look, I have nothing against Darth. I really don't. But yeah, I've not met any professing Christian that can actually give a succinct argument against why transgender would be a sin. And most popular Christian conservative people that I know argue that it's not. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. But I don't think you guys will ever get another debate out of him because he knows he'd lose, and you know he doesn't want video footage of him getting slapped around by.
Yeah, what does this mean that Dio is the mod?
Do you see any issue with profiting from sexual immorality?
I think I asked who the mod was. And it's
So
Dio.
okay, so
Well, he's not
this
the
is
only
what I
mod.
was. This is what I would
Well,
say
I
to you.
know
right?
that it's a joke.
Never mind. Oh.
This is what I would say, right? One, I am never going to bash someone for what they do. I don't care what you do. I'll never bash you for it. I'll never judge you for it. I'll tell you about Christ. If you want to have a discussion about those things, I'll do it. It's one thing to preach a message. It's another thing to ask people that have no other options to do something, right? You go to a person whose only option is to prostitute, and you tell them it's a sin, you shouldn't do it. Your options are to starve to death or not prostitute. You know, I'm not going to tell them to not prostitute. I'm going to tell them that it's probably a sin, but I'm not going to ask them to starve themselves. You know, Christ gave general statements, but he also gave individual statements. You have to live in the real world. Christianity has to be practiced in the real world. And Christianity has to be practiced with an understanding that you can look at someone and point out their sins. But, you know, there's the biblical verse that says, pull the log out of your own eye first. Which is why I never attempt to bash people for what they do. Now, if someone comes after me, as Darth has started to do, or Christian Hillbilly likes to do, yeah, I'll snap back. But if you were to ask me if camming is a way to get someone off the street and put them in a house, then I'll support that. I'm not going to tell them not to do it. I'm going to tell them that, you know, maybe after you've gotten off the street, maybe you should think about going to college or getting a trade to where you don't have to do those things. But I'm never going to tell anyone to not do whatever they need to do to survive. To do that would just be wrong.
I mean,
and to throw hold on 1 second. One more thing. To throw the Bible at them makes it even more wrong.
Can I just jump in real quick? Big Chum, you there? All right. So look, I technically won. I went through.